Jai Shri Shri Guru Garanga, Gandharika Giridhari, Radhikaraman Giriju Ki Jai Ho. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Balava, Givanadhari, Gopi Jana Balava, Givanadhari, Yashoda Nanjana Braja Jana Ranjanan, Yashoda Nanjana Braja Jana Ranjanan, Jamuna Tira Banachari, Jamuna Tira Banachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Balava, Givanadhari, Gopi Jana Balava, Givanadhari, Yashoda Nanjana Braja Jana Ranjanan, Nanjana Braja Jana Ranjanan, Damuna Tira Banachari, Damuna Tira Banachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Balava, Givanadhari, Gopi Jana Balava, Givanadhari, Yashoda Nanjana Braja Jana Ranjanan, Yashoda Nanjana Braja Jana Ranjanan. Jai. Om Agyanna Timirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Mahavandanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gora Devashe Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Can you pause? So first of all, I'd like to offer my heartfelt Puspanjali to the lotus feet of my Harinam Diksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, or Srila Prabhupada. Second of all, to my Bhajan Shiksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, our Gurudev, to Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to our entire Guru Parampara, and especially to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and his Madhurya Kadambini. And of course today is a very special day to our Gadadhar Pandit and to our Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's their disappearance day. What a special day. Mm-hmm. So I thought first I'd speak a little bit about Gadadhar Pandit and Bhaktivinoda Thakur before we talked about Madhurya Kadambini. So Gadadhar Pandit, as we know, is none other than Srimati Radhika herself. So this is very special. Srimati Radhika herself has come in the form of Gadadhar Pandit. And she is Prem Guru. So as Prem Guru, she has appeared with Krishna, who is in the form of Mahaprabhu, to actually help Krishna in his role as Mahaprabhu. She's his teacher, actually. Now, there's something very beautiful. I thought I'd kind of like read it a little bit because it's Srila Narayan Maharaj way, way back. I was actually with him at Tota Gopinath in Puri. And he started talking about the tattva of Gadadhar Pandit and Srimati Radhika. And it's easier if I just read it and then speak about it than try and remember it. So, Srila Narayan Maharaj, oh, I forget what year it is. What year was that? It was during Purushottam, and it's the year, let's see, what year was that? Which one? Oh, in the end. Yeah, it is. It's at the end. What year was it?
End of the article.
That's what I see. No, it doesn't say here.
End of that article, which you are following.
Anyhow, it was during a Purushottam.
2000 something.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, I can't remember. I was there. Anyhow. Yeah, where is it here? I'm sure it says it somewhere.
This is another article. It already another article. Already started.
Anyhow, I can't find it. Okay, so anyhow, Srila Narayan Maharaj, he started speaking, and he was trying to clarify.
It should be in the beginning, the way it describes that Madhurya.
Okay, so here in Puri, Srila Narayan Maharaj brings up a point that some people are questioning and have not understood correctly about Gadadhar Pandit. He says, and he was saying, that anyone who thinks Srimati Radhika became zero when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took her bhav has not correctly understood. And he makes the point, he gives a very nice example. He says when someone plays a part of someone in a drama, and that second person may still be present there. You know, let's give a very clear example. We're playing Ram Leela, Sita Ram, and Sita herself is sitting in the audience. It's very clear, right? So this Sita sitting in the audience, just because someone's playing her part, has not become zero. You see what I mean? Sita is sitting in the audience, is just becoming passive. You know, she's watching someone play her role. And she's also checking out to see if they're doing it correctly. You see? Like this. So this is the Gadadhar Pandit. This is Srimati Radhika come as Gadadhar Pandit. Let's see here. So when Krishna took the bhav of Srimati Radhika and became Mahaprabhu, she was still present as Gadadhar Pandit. She didn't disappear. She didn't become zero. And he goes on to explain that she covers herself. Or as you might say, how would you say it? She conceals. She conceals her moods as Srimati Radhika. Her mood as Radhika is Bhamya Bhav, right? Bhamya, that's very contrary. And this nourishes Krishna's Leela so much. He gets so much pleasure out of it. But this would not have been appropriate in Gaur Leela. In Gaur Leela, Gadadhar becomes more Dasya, more Dakshin than even Rukmini or Chandravali, anyone. She becomes the supreme limit of Dakshin, covering her moods 100%. Because if she hadn't done that, Krishna would not have been able to play her role. Because he would see Radharani and he would immediately assume his role as Krishna, and it would be Krishna Leela. It would not be Mahaprabhu Leela. It wouldn't be possible. But she is still herself, but she is just playing another role. And it's really beautiful, actually, because she's come to teach us She's come to teach us, because she's Prem Guru, she's topmost Guru, Krishna's Guru, she's the Guru of everyone. In Akhanda Guru Tattva we have Nitai, but even up above is Prem Guru Srimati Radhika, and Nitai takes the form of her younger sister, his Shakti, Nanga Manjari, the younger sister of Srimati Radhika, takes a humble role, and Balaram is in the distance when it comes to Madhurya Ras. She is supreme, Srimati Radhika. And so she's teaching us, because in Gaura Leela, what are we learning? We're learning how to become the servants of Krishna. Because we've forgotten Krishna. We've decided we wanted to be Krishna here in the material world. We're trying to, how do you say it? We're trying to just enjoy our sense gratification. We don't want to be servants at all. We don't. It's just where we've become opposed to Krishna and opposed to devotional service. So Mahaprabhu has come to taste the moods of Srimati Radhika and to give special moods of devotional service. But this special moods of devotional service, which is what Srila Narayana Maharaj has coined a phrase, Braj Bhakti Rasasar. That means Braj Bhakti, Ras, Asar, the essence of Braj Bhakti Ras. What's that? That is the moods of the maidservants of Srimati Radhika, Radha Dasham. He's especially come, Mahaprabhu, to give this Raganuga Bhakti of this particular type, which is Rupanuga Bhakti. And he brought all of his associates with him, Krishna did, but they're all covered. Because he's also come to taste the moods of Srimati Radharani, and in one sense to taste himself. What is she tasting? What are her moods? It's tasting the beauties and the Madhuryas of Krishna. So if Rupa Goswami was to play his role as Rupa Manjari, or Swabdamodar was to play his role as Lalita, or Gadadhar Pandit as Radharani, we would have Krishna Leela, and Krishna would not be able to fulfill the three desires that he came to fulfill. So Gadadhar Pandit, he was actually situated in Gopinath, Tota Gopinath in Puri. Of course, he was also in Navadvip, very much with Mahaprabhu in Navadvip, but also very dakshin in Navadvip. His mood is very soft and gentle, always in Gaur Leela. It's never as... there's a class of devotees called the Gauranga Nagaris, and they try to superimpose Krishna Leela upon Gaur Leela. And they see Mahaprabhu kind of as Krishna, and you can be the Nagar, or the beloved of Krishna, and Krishna's your beloved, but it's Mahaprabhu. This is one of these Sahajya lines. So we only approach Mahaprabhu through Dasya. Only. Even if you see, except for his mother and father, they're in Vatsalya Bhav, but still it's Dasya. It's serving Mahaprabhu and his wives. You know, still it's serving Lakshmi Priya Vishnu. It's Dasya. It's not this Nagar Nagari. It's not like this. It's not like Braj Bhav. It's completely different. And this is what Mahaprabhu desires. So Gadadhar Pandit comes with Mahaprabhu to teach us the essence of this Dasya Bhav. Because how can we ever enter Braj if we don't get trained in the proper moods of service? It won't be possible. Braj Ras is so high. So many persons come to Vrindavan, they cannot enter Vrindavan, not possible. They have too many anarchas, too many offenses, not possible. In Braj, offenses make a big difference. But in Navadvip, Puri, in Gaur Leela, we can become cleared of this very easily. But how? Krishna Kripa Nandamurti Sri Guru, by Sri Guru Kripa, Vaishnav Kripa. And how do we attain this Kripa? This Kripa was shown by Gadadhar Pandit. Wholesale submission, giving up 100% personal desire. Of course, hers are not material, but wholesale giving up any independent desire of your Istadev. She 100% gave up her mood as Radharani. 100%. And covered her mood as Gadadhar, the submissive servant of Mahaprabhu. 100%. So the Sat Sishya, a real disciple of Sri Guru, he gives up all his independent desires, all his separate desires. He becomes completely selfless in serving Sri Guru. This is the example of Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit. 100, because we may even have spiritual desires, but they're separate from our Guru. He doesn't want that. He may want you, a very easy example, he wants you to go out and distribute books. Well, I'm sorry, I want to dress the deities. That's what I want to do. You see, like this, to become a Sat Sishya, we have no separate interest, no separate desires, no separate service. Everything is completely in harmony with Sri Guru and what he wants. And when we get this training through Gaur Leela, through Navadvip Dham, Puri Dham, then finally, Nitai, Akhanda Guru Tattva, will say, okay, now go to Vrindavan, enter the school of Rupa Sanatan Raghunath. You know, now you're qualified to go there and take higher training and understand the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. But not until we pass the examination. And then that examination basically is selflessness. That's the essence. The essence of the moods of Braj are completely selfless. Krishna is the center. Everyone wants the satisfaction of Krishna. Mother Yasoda wants the satisfaction of Krishna, Radharani, Chandravali. Everyone wants his satisfaction. That is bhakti. Krishna Anusilanam. You know, all of our activities for the satisfaction of Krishna, for the pleasure, favorable. Because it's not even that you bring Krishna pleasure, but it's actually with a favorable mood. Because the wrestlers in the arena of Kamsa, they were bringing great pleasure to Krishna. He likes to fight, right? But it's not bhakti because their moods were unfavorable. You see, like this. So we have to understand this very subtle. So it has to be for the favorable to Krishna, for his pleasure, for his satisfaction. And the example Mother Yasoda is also given when she put baby Krishna down when he was crying and sucking her breast because the milk was boiling over on the stove. So she put him down. So you think, well, how can that be bhakti? She put him down. He didn't like that. But it's because her mood was favorable. She knew, oh, that milk over there, who's crying, he wants to be used in the service of Krishna. I can make pera, I can make sandesh, it will bring so much pleasure to Krishna. She was thinking of the pleasure of Krishna, the future pleasure of Krishna. So that's bhakti, like this. So Gadadhar Pandit is teaching the subtleties of bhakti, of like 100%, whatever Krishna wants. In Gaur Leela, Krishna wants to be a devotee. He does not want to be known as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu. Every now and then he would reveal it, but still, his mood is a devotee. And he wants to taste the essence of prem, meaning his own sweetnesses, that's the moods of Srimati Radhika, and which he did particularly in Puri, in the Gambhira. He did in Navadvip too, also in Navadvip. But it's always there. That mood is always in his heart, but it's not always, sometimes it's concealed, especially when he was playing as Nimai Pandit. He was actually acting as kind of like a non-devotee. He would make fun of the devotees. They would pray for him, oh, one day you'll become a Vaishnava, like this. That's his Leela. That's part of Gaur Leela. He wanted, he wanted to be this big Pandit. And of course, inside he's different. And after he took initiation from Sri Guru, he's teaching us, you take initiation from Sri Guru, isn't it? And then he started to exhibit the moods of a Vaishnava. And then finally he gives everything up, everything. Takes sannyas, goes to Puri, and shows how we may not take sannyas, but to actually attain bhakti, we have to give up all material attachments. And Krishna has to be the center. And we have to practice bhakti for the pleasure of Krishna, under the guidance of Sri Guru. So, how was Gadadhar Pandit acting as guru for Mahaprabhu? It's a little harder to see in Navadvip, but in Puri, he was at Tota Gopinath, and he was giving Srimad Bhagavatam class. And actually, in essence, Srimad Bhagavatam are the moods of Srimati Radhika. So who can more perfectly explain the moods of Bhagavatam than Srimati Radhika herself? So Krishna, as Mahaprabhu, was going to Tota Gopinath and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit and getting trained by Radharani herself. And sometimes they would both be crying, and they would, in their asasatvika bhavs, I can't speak, this is way above me, but they would be, all the bhavs would be coming their hair. It's too high for me, I can't explain it, but anyhow, they were experiencing the topmost prema. Let's put it that way. And so one time, Mahaprabhu, while he was at Tota Gopinath, this is before Tota Gopinath had manifested. So Mahaprabhu was sitting and he said, I want to give you my most valuable treasure. Most valuable treasure. My heart I want to give you. Will you accept? Gadadhar Pandit said, of course, yes. So what did Mahaprabhu? He started digging in the sand. And first he uncovered the head and he brought out Gopinath. He said, this is my heart, my pranadhan, my Gopinath. Here, you take and you worship the rest of your life. And so at Tota Gopinath, Gadadhar is worshipping Gopinath. But of course, this is Radha Gopinath. But when with Mahaprabhu, he's completely covering this mood of Radharani. But Mahaprabhu had given himself who is Mahaprabhu? He is Krishna. He is Gopinath. But he's come for a different purpose than in Krishna Leela, and he's come to taste ras in a different way. So, and as we know, Gadadhar Pandit, there's many pastimes about him, but one special one is that when Mahaprabhu wanted to, I think he was going to Vrindavan at that time. Yeah, it was Vrindavan, or Ramkela, whatever it was. And Gadadhar Pandit had taken Kshetra Sannyas. He had taken a vow that he wouldn't leave Gopinath and he wouldn't leave Puri, right? But he was so attached to Mahaprabhu, he wanted to go. So he actually, and Mahaprabhu forbade him to come. He went for a while and then he was going secretly. Finally, Mahaprabhu says, call Gadadhar. Gadadhar came, I forget where it was some ways away. He had already broken his vow. And Mahaprabhu says, this is enough. You have to go back. And so he went back, because he's Dakshin, actually, Dakshin. Showing the example, what Guru wants. Submissive. Yeah, the word is submissive. Submissive. And so he went back. He was totally devastated. But he went back, and Mahaprabhu went on. Because Mahaprabhu knew that if he went to Vrindavan with Gadadhar Pandit, it would be impossible for both of them to keep their moods as Gadadhar and Mahaprabhu. It would be impossible. So in Vrindavan, he was only there with his servant. It was a Balabhadra Bhattacharya, I think, and a few others. But, Krishnadas came and a few, but he was mostly by himself. And then at the end of his life, Mahaprabhu, as you know, he had gone to Tota Gopinath to hear Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. And he became so filled with praying. He ran into the Gopinath temple. And he entered the Gopinath deity. And he ended his Leela as Gaur. His Gaur Leela ended. Some devotees saw him enter the ocean. Some saw him enter Jagannath. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead can do many things at the same time. But for us, he entered Gopinath. Well, they say that just what I said, that some devotees see him this way, some devotees see him that way. But we mostly, our line, we see that he entered Gopinath. But it's not opposed to see that he entered the ocean or that he entered Jagannath.
In Tata Gopinath, there is a samadhi of the Gopin that was behind him when he entered.
Yeah, and there's a crack in Gopinath that they say that's where he entered also. And of course, Gadadhar Pandit, what happened? He was devastated. Devastated. He was younger than Mahaprabhu, about a year, I think, about a year or so. And some people say that because he was so frail and so old, that's why Gopinath sat down. But that isn't the reason, because he wasn't old. It was due to his intense separation. His intense separation and feelings of, separation from Mahaprabhu that he couldn't do. He couldn't even put the garland on Gopinath. So Gopinath so kindly sat down so he could still do his seva like this. And he's the only deity in yoga position like this. Very special. And very shortly after that, as we know, Gadadhar Pandit also left. But before he left, he bestowed his mercy upon Raghunath Das Goswami, but then he left, but also on Srinivasacharya. Srinivasacharya met him. But he was going to obtain another copy of the Bhagavatam, because Gadadhar Pandit's Bhagavatam was all washed away because of his tears. So Srinivasacharya had gone to get the Bhagavatam, and on his way back he heard, Gadadhar has left. Oh, so Gadadhar quickly left after Mahaprabhu, but he bestowed special mercy on Raghunath Das Goswami and Srinivasacharya before he left. And he had some very, very special disciples. It's mentioned here that he had his disciples were, which is interesting, his disciples were Lokanath Goswami and Bhugarba Goswami, and they were in Navadvip with Mahaprabhu. They were somehow related. And in Navadvip, Mahaprabhu had told them to go to Vrindavan. I had actually told Lokanath to go to Vrindavan, and so he was the first one, before Rupa and Sanatan, to come to Vrindavan, like that. And then Bhugarba Goswami, who was somehow related to him, also went with him because they were very attached to each other. And also Madhu Pandit is a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit, and he's the one that was taking care of Gopinath here in Vamsivad. He and, what's his name? Padmanabha Bhattacharya? Is that his name? They actually discovered Gopinath in the sand of the Jamuna. The original Gopinath that Vajjanabh had manifested. He manifested Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath. And they were, of course, hidden. We know Govinda was hiding in a hill. Madan Mohan was just playing over in Mathura. And Gopinath was hiding in the sand of the Jamuna. So Madhu Pandit was given the service of seva to Gopinath. His samadhi is with Gopinath. And Achyutananda is also the disciple of Gadadhar Pandit, and he is the son of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya. Yeah. And also the guru of Kavi Karnapur, Srinath Chakravarti, was a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. And if you read any of the books of Kavi Karnapur, and I can only read them in English, and I know that doesn't do them justice. The writing of Kavi Karnapur is exceptionally beautiful. It's so exciting. His Ananda Vrindavan Champu, his Krishnanika Kumiti, his books are exceptional. Yeah, he's the one that sucked the toe of Mahaprabhu. Yeah. So his guru is a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. And also, now some people don't accept this, but we are told by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, it's written in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that also Vallabhacharya, inspired by Mahaprabhu, took mantra diksha from Gadadhar Pandit. Vallabhacharya. So he had many amazing disciples. So, So we'll stop there with Gadadhar Pandit, and now we'll speak a little bit about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gora Shakti, Swarupaya, Rupanuga Varayate. He's also a manifestation of Gadadhar Pandit, because he's also a manifestation of Srimati Radhika, one of her near and dear maidservants, Kamala Manjari. So astonishing. He is so astonishing, he is so exalted, that the Vaishnava community gave him the title the seventh Goswami. We have the six Goswamis who are our topmost Shiksha Gurus. Rupa Goswami is, for us, topmost. Of course, he sees Swarup Damodar, Mahaprabhu, but for us, Rupa Goswami, because this is the moods that we're aspiring for, that Braj Bhakti Rasasar. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there was a dark period, such a dark period in Vaishnavism, Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And he appeared just to save that line from completely disappearing. He's called also, what is it? The Bhagirati Ganga of Bhakti. You know? Bhagirat? Is that how you say it? Bhagirat Ganga.
Bhagirati is the name of Ganga herself.
Okay.
Bhagirat.
Okay, so anyhow, he's the Ganga of Bhakti, coming down, and the Ganga is pure. So he brought the pure line of Bhakti as given by Mahaprabhu, and given especially by Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami, coming down. Because it had practically disappeared. He established it again. And one thing that we should understand is that the appearance and disappearance of these exalted souls, what to speak of Gadadhar Pandit, that's understood, Radharani, but also like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he appears to be a superhuman, but an ordinary person in one sense, with a body like ours, but it's not. They are always eternally situated in transcendence in spiritual bodies. They appear and they disappear according to their own will. They are not forced to be born, and they are not forced to leave this world and take another material body. They don't have material bodies. So it's their mercy upon us when they appear. And they appear for the pleasure of Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself. And he was bringing the sublime teachings of Gaur and establishing them. And he wrote books in, I forget how many languages, but a lot. In Hindi, Bengali, Urdu, English, so many, hundreds of books. At the same time, he was a magistrate for so many, even in Puri, he was a court magistrate. It was incredible. Incredible. At night, he would be writing these incredible spiritual, he would be manifesting. You can't even say writing. He was manifesting his moods and the moods of Braj. And he was manifesting them on all levels. He was manifesting them on the tattva level. He's got his Jiva Dharma. Most incredible, isn't it? The very first chapter, just the basic, the Jiva Tattva, Vastu and Avastu, and the whole idea of how the soul can become covered, it goes from water to ice, and so amazing how we, But then all the way to the last chapter, or the second to last chapter, entering Braj Leela. I think, 20-something chapters? I forget how many chapters there are. Yeah. And Jiva Dharma. The Dharma for the Jiva. All Jivas. No material impediment. No caste, creed, anything. Jiva is Jiva. He established it so firmly, and he was just wiping out the caste system that was so prevalent in India, and the Sahajya lines, and all these. He was just demolishing them, really. Of course, if someone isn't really honest, and they will just try and cover his teachings. But actually, he completely demolished them, 100%. Some people, of course, will still, they're pretenders, and so they will try and cover his teachings. But really, if you look at his teachings, from an objective point of view, he demolished all the hypocrisy that was being performed in the name of Vaishnavism. And he firmly established pure bhakti on all levels, and especially the pure bhakti of Braj. He established. If you see his songs, like I think it's the Gita Mala. Yeah, I think it's Gita Mala. He has collections. And in his Gita Mala, he has one collection of 10 songs. It's called Siddhi Lalasa. And in this collection is 10 songs. It takes us from Navadvip. The jiva, the soul, is in Navadvip, on the banks of the Ganga. Krishna, Krishna, in Navadvip. Yes, Kabi Gauravani. And immediately, the mercy of Navadvip, the second song, born in Barshana. Everything forgot, dekadi, dekadi. Then he gets the mood of a Braj Gopi. So he's showing us. He's giving us so much hope. So much hope. And he's saying the actual process. Only Braj Gopi Bhav. And then meeting the Sakis, getting trained by Lalita, Radha Kun, being trained by Rupa Goswami. Rupa Manjari, Finally, you're perfected. I am Kamala Manjari. My look like this. My dress looks like this. My service is... How merciful. He himself is revealing who he is and how this is our process too. Like this. How merciful. And he began with, well, the jiva is... jiva, is the eternal spirit soul. Like this. But he takes us all the way up. In the very last song, I cannot tolerate the separation that Srimati Radhika feels from Krishna. I just want to give my life. I'd be willing to give my life hundreds of millions of times for their meeting. No, it's Virahe. It's Virahe. Virahe. Something Virahe. It's the very last song is Virahe. No, it's not that one. It's Virahe. Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah. So, and in the very last line of that song, what does he leave us with? Oh, Vilas Manjari. Oh, Ananga Manjari. Oh, Rupa Manjari, please pick me up and place me at your lotus feet and bestow upon me the eternal essence of perfection, which is Radha Dasyan. It's amazing how much he's given us. And all of his songs reveal this. They reveal from the very beginning, like basic Bhagavad Gita, then basic Srimad Bhagavatam, basic, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then entrance into Braj Bhav, entrance into Gopi Bhav, entrance into Gopi Manjari Bhav. And this is what Mahaprabhu wanted to give. He himself came to taste, but he wanted to give to the jivas what? Raganuga Bhakti, particularly Rupanuga Bhakti. Yeah, okay, you got it. I knew you'd get it. Yeah, so he has so amazingly given what Mahaprabhu wanted to give. Mahaprabhu couldn't do it himself because he doesn't even have those moods. He's Krishna. Even Radhika can't give it. Gadadhar Pandit can't give that. Even Swarab Damodar can't give. But Rupa Goswami can give. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Rupanuga variety. Topmost Rupanuga. He has preserved the pristine teachings of Rupa Goswami. And he has given them to us in such a simple way. So simple. His songs are so simple. And he's given us like sudden bhakti. What is that? His crying out, his songs of Shikshashtakam, right? His songs of Shikshashtakam, His songs even of, he has songs of Upadeshamrita also. Yeah, and it's so interesting in his 8th song of his Upadeshamrita, which is the essence of all advice, what does he say there? He says, Rupa Goswami, through my guru, has given me this essence of all advice. You see? So we should see our guru as the manifestation of Rupa Goswami, like this. And the essence is what? Live in Braj. Hear, chant, and remember the pastimes of Radha and Krishna under the proper guidance of a Brajvasi, a pure Brajvasi, Rasik Brajvasi. That's it. Very simple. Life is very simple. There's no big problems. And the verse before it is, you know, I have no taste, but it just says, chant, 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 keep chanting, and it will become sweet. We make life so complicated. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur showed us a simple process. He gave us so much. What's it? Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago. I've come, I brought you the medicine. Wake up, sleeping souls. Please take, please take. Yeah, his songs are so incredible. What to speak of his books, Bhajan Rahasya, Jaiva Dharma, so many. So we're very grateful.
And he did and wrote all of this besides his hectic schedule and his intense sadhan bhajan, like staying up all night and like chanting, relaxing.
Yeah. What's that? I could.
His sadhan.
Oh yeah, his sadhan himself was amazing, amazing. And then he showed the example of Varnashram Dharma. First he was a brahmachari, then he was a grahastha, then a vanaprastha, and then an ascetic. He was born in near Navadvip, and then he became grahastha, and he was living in various places, especially Puri. And then he took his vanaprastha in Sarabi Kunj, and then in Swananda Sukata Kunj, he was his ascetic life. And he did two very special things besides. One is he discovered the appearance place of Mahaprabhu, as we know. He actually discovered, and he proved it through so many different pramans, and the greatest praman was bringing his dear friend Jagannath Das Babaji from, I think it was in Vrindavan.
His friend, he also got Vish from Paraman's Vish.
Right, he did.
Like his guru.
Yeah, it's his guru. He did. They met at Suryakund in Vrindavan. Jagannath Das Babaji and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Srila Gurudev says, we think that the intimate servants of Guru are the ones that massage his feet and cook for him and do so many things. But did Bhaktivinoda Thakur ever do that for Jagannath Das Babaji? No. But Jagannath Babaji gave him everything, the essence. He gave him the essence of his moods. That. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur served this. That's what he did. He didn't massage. No. He took the essence of the teachings of Rupa Goswami and he gave them to everyone. And what else did he do besides manifesting the birthplace of Mahaprabhu? He manifested Jagat Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. He did. And you can see that all of us, everyone, we're so indebted to Bhaktivinoda Thakur for manifesting Bhakti Siddhanta and also for manifesting our Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj.
It was his biggest mercy because otherwise we could never approach Bhakti
Right.
Swami.
So it was in 1896 that Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj appeared in this world. And that is the very year that Bhaktivinoda Thakur first sent the first book to the West. That was his teachings of Lord Chaitanya. You know, it was it's a small book. And he sent it to McGill University and a few places. It was that year that Prabhupada appeared. He had the same year that it was the first time Bhaktivinoda sent something outside of India.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife, the mother of Bhakti Siddhanta, who kept telling Bhakti Siddhanta, you have to spread this outside of India. That was the order. Even his mother was telling him this. So Bhakti Siddhanta, he personally himself, of course, did it through his disciple, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. And if Bhakti Siddhanta and Bhaktivinoda had not given that order, Prabhupada would never have done it, because he was only serving the order of his guru. If his guru had told him, you sit in Vrindavan and do bhajan, he would have done that. Or if his guru had said, okay, now I want you to preach in South India, he would have done that. But no, his guru wanted him to go to the West, or to tell him to go to the West, so he did. He was serving the order of Bhaktisiddhanta, which was the order of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which is the order of Nitai, Gaur, Gadadhar, like this. So it's all this Guru Seva. The essence of what we're talking about today is Guru Seva, selfless. Selfless Guru Seva for the pleasure of Shri Guru, and Shri Guru's pleasure is the pleasure of Krishna in the form of Mahaprabhu, and ultimately Radha and Krishna, because Mahaprabhu is none other than Radha and Krishna. But by the mercy of Mahaprabhu and his associates, especially Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we become qualified to enter Braj, and become the students of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, and actually, become eternal residents of Vrindavan and attain our eternal Swarup, in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So we're very indebted, so indebted to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gadadhar Pandit. Yeah. It's quite overwhelming, actually. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. It's amazing what Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj did, because for us, we had nothing in the West. Yeah, we had absolutely nothing of Vedic culture. A few Mayavadis had come, Paramahansa Yogananda, Vivekananda, and they talked a little bit about yoga and meditation and merging and this and that, which was helpful for us because we were so materialistic. But they didn't bring bhakti. Nobody had brought bhakti. Jesus Christ came the closest to bringing bhakti. But we really had nothing. And then when Prabhupada came, he transplanted completely the teaching, the whole, I don't even know how to say it. He just took the whole spiritual world, you might say, the spiritual gift that had been given to us by Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna, Krishna Leela, and gave it to us. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And on every altar, he had temples in practically every country in the world. And it wasn't a temple, it was a preaching center. And on every altar you have Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji. They became household terms for thousands, millions of spirit souls all over the world. Everybody knows Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Isn't it amazing? And Prabhupada didn't bat an eyelash. He didn't think, oh, well, they'll never understand. Oh, how I can do that. No, he just did it. He did it, and it was quite amazing because I was part of that revolution. All of a sudden, into our lives, it was almost like force feeding, I hear us say, I'm a hippie, right? And all of a sudden, boom, I was, and I didn't know it. And then all of a sudden, it's like the darkness is gone, the light is coming, and you wake up to reality. It wasn't really a slow process. It was just boom, It was amazing. That's why they call it the Hare Krishna explosion. That's what they have books like that, the Hare Krishna explosion. Because it really was an explosion. Because 1 minute, we're just these materialists. I mean, we're trying to be some kind of hippie, but still, it's just material. It's all material. We were vegetarians, but it's all material. Completely material. And then all of a sudden, wham, we're practicing bhakti. Practicing bhakti. That is a miracle. And it wasn't just hippies, it was some college students, or it's like professors, or every kind of person. What power! Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Pandit Nitai, coming down, Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami Sanat, down Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta. This is the Ganga. When the Ganga descends, First she comes from the causal ocean, right? Vamanadeva kicks and the Ganga. We're reading this chapter in the 5th canto. First she comes to Dhruvaloka. Then she comes to the planet of the sages. Then she's carried in celestial airplanes down to all the different planets, and then to the moon, and finally to Brahma on top of Mount Meru. And then she comes down into Bharat Vars, and finally she reaches the ocean. She's calm and whoosh, purifying everyone. And we haven't read it yet, but she's also in the lower planetary system. There's a gun, she's everywhere. But our dear Narottam Das Thakur said something very beautiful. He said, what is more wonderful than the Ganga? Because by bathing in the Ganga, you get purified. But by just seeing a Vaishnava, you get purified. So seeing Bhaktivinoda Thakur, seeing the Vaishnavas, we become so purified. Isn't it? So this is why we remember Gadadhar Pandit, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because just by saying, we see them through our ears, isn't it? The best seeing is through our ears, because our material eyes, they will cheat us. We'll see Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we'll say, oh, he looks like an old man. Oh my gosh, Hare Krishna, he's so fat. Oh my goodness, Hare Krishna, his eyebrows are like, ooh, yeah. They will trick us. But if we see through the ears, especially we see through the Harikatha of the pure devotees who are also descending. Just seeing there, hearing the Harikatha is the best seeing, isn't it?
Nowadays people are claiming that he was different. So
Yeah. We have to be very careful that we stick to the line, the pure line of the Ganga coming down as given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta, and their sincere, chaste followers. Yes, we have to be very careful, very careful. As we know, spiritual life is a razor's edge. A razor's edge, and we need to follow Sri Guru and his teachings as Prabhupada coined, as it is. Bhagavad Gita, as it is. Because there were so many Bhagavad Gitas, but as it really is. We have to follow this. So I think we'll end there. Unless there's any question about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gadadhar Pandit. I guess we didn't have so much time for Madhurya Kadambini today. But next week we will hopefully start with shower number 7. We're near the end. We're coming to Bhav, which is no longer sudden bhakti. Bhav bhakti is the goal of sudden bhakti, and it's the first rays of the sun of prem. The first rays of prem. It's the maturing of ruchi and shakti. Then it's rati and bhav. But this is nothing of the material world. This is the first sprouting, or the first rays of Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda. It's called Sudha Sattva Viseshatma. Pure goodness. Only pure goodness. Nothing else. And it comes from the heart of the pure devotees, of those that have that in their heart. Their eternal mood of service, their bhav in their heart. Finally, it's given to us. That's the mercy. It's bestowed upon us. And our unmanifested potential becomes awakened. Yes, and our Siddhadeha comes, and we get, it's maturing, and prem will come. And then you have Sneham, Pranaya, Rag, so many levels. And it's ever increasing, ever fresh. Never stops. And we're always under guidance. So, okay. Jai. Srila Gadadhar Pandit ki jai ho. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Okay. Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi God Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Jaya Gandharika Giridhari, Gandharika Giridhari Radhe. Jaya Gandharika Giridhari, Gandharika Giridhari Radhe. Jaya Radhika Raman, Jaya Radhika Raman, Radhika Raman, Jaya Radhika Raman. Jaya Giriraja, Jaya Govardhana, Giriraja, Jaya Govardhana. Hari Hari Bol. Vaishnavedusha, Kripa Sindhu Vivacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo.